Hello, I'm Ian, you're watching Pixels at Dawn, and today we're looking at a few pinball games on the ZX Spectrum. I just thought it'd be a bit different, having a bit of a double bill of two of my favourite pinball games on the ZX Spectrum. Not a system that's particularly well known for its pinball games, but that doesn't mean there aren't some good ones out there. Maybe one day we'll have a look at some Amiga pinball games, which I would say is probably one of the best systems for pinball games ever done. First up, we're looking at the Mastertronic Classic Pinball Power, released in 1989. As you can see on the nice scrolling mark here at the bottom there. It's a relatively simple table, but it does give you that nice sort of angled view, which I think is the only pinball game on the Spectrum to do that. So it does struggle a bit to give you an accurate sort of perspective feel. The physics feel a bit odd, but even so, it still works pretty well. So let's jump straight in. Before we do that, I hope you're enjoying the nice music on the menu, which is pretty good for a 48k game, to be honest. Usually it's the 1 to 8k games that have the really good music, but pretty good on this one. So, let's jump straight in. Launch the ball. Let's see if I can do a bit better than I have been in my practices. So as I say, it's a relatively simple table. But I quite like that in the same way that I quite like simple fruit machines, because it means you can strategize a lot better, because you're not trying to figure out what the hell's going on all the time. You know exactly what the score is, and you can just get on with doing it. So you've got the lights in the little slots at the top there. You've got the bumpers. You've got the little trap in the middle of the bumpers. You've got the little sort of U-shaped thing underneath. You've got a bonus ramp at the top. You've got your normal bumpers. You've got some cards and some lights down the side. That's about it, really. You can trap the ball, which is always a good thing in a pinball game, I think, because it allows you to slow the action down a little bit if you need to. But up we go. Very good. Trap the ball. Can't quite hit those cards, they're quite difficult to get to. Obviously you get a bit of colour clash, but that's part of the course of the Spectrum. Got a little bit of score there. So the trap at the top spins up your bonus counter in the middle of the board there, bonus multiplier. That's why it's good to get it there, and sometimes you'll get it that it goes into the trap, drops out, which you may have seen right at the start, hits the bumper and then goes straight back in, which is some nice free score for you. It's a bit of a nice bit of satisfaction when that happens. Right, where are we going? Oh, one of the things I don't like about this particular game is that it doesn't have the nice sort of bumper in between the two flippers, because that should allow you to save yourself, at least on the first occasion of going down, but you don't get that nice safety net in this game, which I think is a shame, to be honest. But yeah, it's pretty simple. The physics aren't spot on, but none of the physics on the Spectrum really were, because and that's partly because there's just not enough pixels to really do spot on physics. Because you're only mapping the movement in a relatively small grid, as it were. I do like that you can move the lights along the top, because that allows it there to be a little bit of more skill-based stuff going on. Oh, there we go. Nice. I love that when that happens. How are we getting on? Dee. Right. Oh, very good. Having a pretty good game this time. Pretty good game. I think it's pretty fast for a Spectrum pinball game as well. Sometimes you would find they would be a little slow. Oh, across the top. Nice! Pinball power. Pinball power. It's not quite the same as turtles, is it? Right, we're looking pretty good. We're going to get quite a big bonus at the end of this game. Happy days. Oh, oof, God. Ah, damn it. Lost it. One more ball, I think. You get quite a lot of pinballs on this game, really. I mean, usually you get 3 or 4, but 5 on this for some reason. Get that. But, last chance. at the OK Corral. Could probably do with a theme. This is pretty much a bare pinball table, whereas all good pinball tables, as I'm sure you know, have a good theme knocking around on them. Whether that be, I don't know, the old Star Trek Next Gen tables, or some of the other classic pinball tables. But there you go. We have concluded our session of pinball on Pinball Power. I didn't think I did too bad. Nice, nearly 19,000 on the score there. Probably would be more accurate to actual pinball tables if that went up in millions rather than in thousands. But you can't have everything. But it's pretty good. Pretty good music and a variety of music as well, because there's different music to they had at the start as well, which is cool. But there you go. So Master Triumph Pinball Power. And now we are going to jump onto another pinball game. So I'll see you on the flip side. And we're back playing Advanced Pinball Simulator by Codemasters. We're playing the 128K version here, so which is why we've got this fantastic menu music, which is by the really quite legendary David Whittaker. Pretty good stuff. This is quite a different pinball game to the one we just played. You can play it multiple players, which is always good, but we're just going to play it a one player. Alright, and you get some nice music in the game as well. Let's flick our flippers and fire the ball. So as you see, this one's a little bit slower than Pinball Power. But the difference in this one is that it's actually more of the very rare quest-based pinball game. So you actually have to do all of the little bonus things, and there is actually a conclusion to the game. There's a plot as well, which I haven't gone into all about pinball wizards and things like that. It's not amazing, but at least they made the effort, eh? So on this one you've got, it's a bit more difficult to actually trap the ball on this one. And that's not going in. But you do have the bumper in the middle of the flippers, which should keep us going a little bit longer. Unless you do that and it makes it smaller. There we go, trap the ball. So it's got a bit stuck there. Come on, ball. I don't know if there's a nudge. Ah, there we go, got it. That was a bit weird. Not had that happen before, to my memory, or not since I was a kid, anyway. This was always my favourite as a kid in terms of pinball simulators. It's just really slickly put together. I think the physics aren't as good as Pinball Power, maybe, although the 2D approach does allow you to, I think, get a bit more detail in there. And of course, Codemasters are always a lot better with their graphics than most other publishers on the spectrum. That may be controversial, but I think it's true. So you've got to get all the things for magic at the top there, which I believe is persistent between balls, which is a good thing. And then you've got to get, then there's the cast stuff down the bottom. So you have to brew a potion and smash all the things at the top, and new elements get added to the board as you progress through. I don't know whether we'll get that far through, because as we've already visited, I'm not amazing at pinball games. But we'll see how we go. Oh, extra ball. Well, that will help matters, certainly. Bing! I have to say the sound on the 128K version is vastly better than the sound on the 48K version. We're not even going to look at that, but yeah, just take my word for it. I do love a good bit of Codemasters stuff. I had a lot of Codemasters games back in the day. We did pretty well here. Oh, only one more letter. The slight difficulty with this is that it's a lot harder to control where on the board you're actually going. I think Pinball Power allowed you to actually control the ball a little bit better. But because the ball's a lot smaller on this, it's a lot more difficult to get those angles in there. Because I want to get that G at the top, but actually getting up to the top is basically impossible to control. There's a couple of ways you can do it, but it's not that easy. It's a little bit of RNG going on there. Go on. Oh. See, if I could cycle the letters along the top like I was cycling the lights in Pinball Power, then that would be much easier, and I could actually... there'd be some skill-based stuff involved. Right. I think the end in the top left there is meant to be like some sort of cauldron or something. And once you've cast your spell, you can pop the ball into the cauldron and have great victory. Oh, so we just unlocked the potion bottle. I love that little bit of music. Nice. As with a lot of Codemasters games, obviously this was on other systems as well, but I only ever had a Spectrum, so that's all I can really comment on. Come on, get the G. Come on. Oh, come on. What? What? Oh, that's not good. Ah, damn it. Lost it. Last ball. Oh, we've done better than I usually do on this. Oops. Let's actually launch the ball properly. There we go. Only it would just pop into the middle there. The RNG gods are not favouring me today. I think graphically it's pretty nice. Different style to Pinball Power, certainly. But it does have classic Codemaster style to it. And it's another one by the Oliver twins. They of Dizzy fame. You may not realise they actually did simulations, but a lot of Codemaster's early stuff was simulations. And there we go. We are done. And there we go. That's 2 fantastic pinball games on the Spectrum, which you may not be aware of. There were other pinball games. Those are the ones that I knew. Maybe you know some other ones. Pop it in the comments. Let me know your favourites. But I think it... That sounded cool one that once, just like on the start Treasure Island Dizzy, where you get the digitised speech as well. But you know, at least the music is great, eh? So yeah, let me know about your favourite pinball games on Spectrum. Drop me a like if you enjoyed this. There'll be more retro games to come, as always. I've got a few ideas. I'm trying to keep it to the shorter games at the moment, but maybe we'll do some of the longer adventure games at some point. Anyway, let me know what we should be doing next. I've been Ian, you've been watching Pixels at Dawn, and I'll see you next time. Bye.